Okay, so what you've essentially got is a 3 by 3 by 4. That's why the faces can only turn 180 degrees, because your core is basically in the center of two pieces. But you have an extension off the top of your yellow layer that creates an extra piece, creates an extra layer, basically. What I've never seen is the freedom you have on your white face with that circle, where you can turn that with the extended layer and then still turn the 3 by 3 by 4 layer and still turn the pieces of the extension that come off of the yellow layer when they're on the white face. So you can still freely turn those and they rotate with the circle, or you can just turn the layer underneath the extended piece by itself, or you can turn them both and they rotate the circle. That's a crazy amount of freedom that you have with this puzzle. Because your white face is not extended, it doesn't come up higher. So that's why when you turn your yellow face, you get that extended layer poking up off the top of the white face. It means that your yellow face and the layer directly above your bottom yellow face has been able to break up. And that's why some of those pieces on your white face don't have stickers. After you've made that turn, you don't see stickers on some of the outer pieces of that circle, because those pieces belong with the other layer underneath those yellow pieces. So when your white face is completely done, you'll have white stickers visible on all of these. Assuming you're not missing stickers on anything, which I don't think you are. So basically what you're going to be looking to do is reduce the white face using that freedom that you have of turning the layer underneath of the extension after you make a turn. So you want to get your white face to have all white stickers and the layer directly above your yellow face to all be the same color as the sides of your yellow pieces. So you're basically doing an edge reduction type of thing where you're trying to reduce the corners and the edges of the yellow face that has that extended layer. So basically it looks like this. You're trying to reduce this to the same color to match your yellow face. That'll give you the same basic freedom as it being a single layer of pieces by itself. So in order to do that, you're going to need to use some basic cuboid algorithms to move those pieces of that extended layer to where they belong with the yellow face. So let's see if I can show this on something. I don't have a cuboid that shows extensions like that. The 3 by 3 by 6 maybe might explain it. Let's see if I can get this back to puzzle shape really quickly. Sorry if I'm off camera here. I'm just trying to do this quickly. This is a 3 by 3 by 6, which uses a similar concept to what you have. I'm not solving this, I'm just getting this back to puzzle shape so I can have some kind of similar extra layer to demonstrate things on. So this is just a sloppy half solve here. Okay, so this is my 3x3x6, and as you can see, I've got a similar thing happen here. But I don't have the freedom to make turns on this piece after I've made that turn. Because you have the circle in the middle that's a free turning circle, you can actually make this single layer turn and leave that single layer static and turn the layer below it on your puzzle. So basically what you're going to be needing to do is reduce both of these layers to be the same color. Once that's done, then you can treat it just like a 3x3x4 and solve it just like a 3x3x4. But your first step is going to have to be reducing these two layers, these stacked layers, so that they're all the same color pieces. And in doing so, you'll have the freedom to use just basic cuboid or basic cube algorithms like the Soon algorithm and things like that to place the white pieces after you get them reduced. So to reduce those, I think you're going to need just basic cuboid algorithms to move that middle layer, that extra layer that you have, which is essentially the top layer on your puzzle and this layer here. This layer won't be turnable, I don't think. Let me think. After you make that turn, this is the extended layer. Yeah, I don't think you can turn this layer freely after you've made your turn. I think once your extended turn comes down, I don't think you can turn this layer independent of the bottom layer that you have. So you'll be needing an algorithm that'll move the pieces from your white face down to that middle-ish layer, the layer right above your bottom yellow layer. So for the edges, those are easy because you can basically just make a turn and then turn the layer directly below the extension. So you can make a turn like this and then turn this layer just freely to pair it up with whatever edge you have coming up from the yellow face. That should happen pretty naturally. You should be able to pair those up and then just put them back down where they belong so that you have an extension that is the same two colors. Then from there, I think you'll need the corner piece series for cuboids to move a piece from your white face that doesn't have a white sticker on it into the layer right above your extended piece, right below your extended piece on this section. And what that algorithm does is it's going to take one piece from the top, it's going to move this piece down to this layer. So for you, you'd turn your white face and your right and left. So from your white face, it's going to take whatever piece this is, it's going to move it down to the layer above your extended yellow layer. And it's going to move that piece from above your yellow extended layer up to the white face. It's going to move this piece over to here and then this piece up to here. So for you, it's going to take from your extended, non-extended face, the white face that's crazy, it's going to take the piece that's here, it's going to move it down to here, it's going to take this piece and move it over to here, or here rather, and then this piece is going to come back up to your white face. So because of that freedom you have, you're going to have to be careful of what you turn after you make your first right or your left turn. Because you only want to turn the white face. You don't want to turn the extension that comes up to your white face. If you turn the extension, you're going to move pieces from the extension that you don't want to move. This is a pure algorithm. It's only going to move the corner pieces. It's not going to move any of the edges that you've already fixed. So first step is going to be turning your edges up to the white face and then turning the layer below your extension to pair up those edges. Then you're going to need to use this cuboid corner piece series, turning only this layer on the top after you've made after you've made a right or a left turn. And that's going to move, in my case, it's going to move this piece down to here, it's going to move this piece across to here, and it's going to move this corner back up to where it started. In your case, it's going to move this piece from the white layer to here. It's going to move this piece across to here, and it's going to move this piece up to this position on the white face. And as long as you turn just this layer after you've made a right turn, it won't mess up anything you've already paired. And that algorithm is just up R2, up inverse L2, up R2, up inverse L2. If you do that correctly, having only turned the white face, not the extension that comes up, you'll be able to put the corner pieces that don't have white stickers on them in the correct positions between the edges that you've already reduced. And you're not looking to put them with the correct edges, you're looking to put them with the correct full corner piece that you have access to. Because once you've reduced those as a full corner, same as you'll reduce the edges, then you'll be able to do that same corner piece series, but turning both the up layers with the extension to move that entire edge or entire corner that's been reduced back down to the yellow piece, back down to the yellow face in the correct position in between the edges that you've already reduced. So basically, you will have turned, after you get all of that reduced, you will have, the white layer will still be same thing it is, but you'll have turned that yellow layer into a double layer that is essentially just a regular layer on a 3x3x4. And then you'll be able to solve it just like a 3x3x4. But that first step is going to be your hardest part, because you really have to reduce those two layers, these two layers, into one layer. Using that cuboid corner piece series, you can reduce those into one single layer. And then from there, you'll be able to use, say, like Soon algorithms to fix your white. So you can go right, up, right, up, right, up, right. It'll leave you with one of those extended yellow pieces sticking up. But because you can turn it freely, after you've reduced that extension, let's see, I can do that here actually. After you've reduced that extension, you'll basically have this piece as all the same color. So it'll function just like a single layer on a 3x3x4. And that's going to be your approach for fixing that. Because after you've done that, after you've reduced that entire layer into the same color, then when you get to this situation, you can just use that corner piece series for cuboids to bring that corner piece back down to the extended face, the extended layers, and leave the edges of the white face that you've done completely solved. So in case you're still puzzled about the solving a 3x3x4, this is a very easy puzzle. I can solve it in just a couple of minutes. So after you've reduced, that's going to be the hardest part, is reducing that yellow face and the extended layer above it into one color. And then you'll essentially have a 3x3x4, but anything yellow that is on your white face will be sticking up. And those will be the pieces that you'll have to return using those double layer turns together. You'll have to turn the extended piece here and the layer below it all as one, because these pieces and the extension will be the same colors. And then For a 3x3x4, I approach this by just reducing the center layers, just like you would on a big cube. So you reduce the centers, just like you normally do, and then you use that same cuboid corner piece series, but you use it for this layer. And that's just, I mean, that it's the same exact thing. That cuboid corner piece series, again, is up, right, right, up inverse, left, left, up, right, right, up inverse, left, left. And that moves the corner piece from here down to this position, the corner piece from here over to this position, and the corner piece from here up to this position. So if I do it on, say, this layer, I can move this red and blue piece to this position, even though it's not where it belongs. And I can move this orange and blue piece over to here. But it's just this layer, right, right, up inverse, left, left, up, right, right, up inverse, left, left. And it moved that red and blue piece from back here down to here. So you're essentially reducing, you have to reduce your puzzle to a 3x3x4 by repairing all of these extended pieces to the same colors. And then from there, you'll be able to turn all of the white layer as one group. Even if you have pieces sticking out, you can turn it all as one group and bring it back down the same way. So that cuboid corner piece series and all of that same stuff will apply exactly the same. But the first step you really have to focus on is using the freedom that you have to turn this layer independent of this, to put the pieces that are on the white face that don't belong on the white face matched up with the layer above your extended layer. Again, without puzzle in hand, this is very hard to show and demonstrate accurately, so I hope that made some level of sense and is at least a little bit helpful. The corner piece series for cuboids is going to be your best friend in reducing the corners. The edges are going to be very easy. Like I said, you can bring this up, slide, make a turn on this layer, leaving this where it is, and then bring this back down to pair that up with your extended layer. But the cuboid corner piece series is what's going to be really difficult, because you're going to have to focus on getting the pieces from your white layer that belong on the layer above the yellow face. That's where you'll have to be really focused on making sure you're moving the correct pieces. But I think that's how it's going to work for you, because you have so much freedom on that puzzle. I think that's going to be your kind of approach to reducing it to a 3x3x4 and then solving it as a 3x3x4 once you get it reduced to that point. Again, I hope this is some level of help. I know this was not easy to see because, again, I don't have your puzzle in hand. I can't do exact moves. But I think that's the right approach, and at least, if nothing else, I hope I gave you some tips on where to start, how to kind of go about reducing things and fixing it into a puzzle that's more familiar and going to be easier to work with. Again, that's a great looking puzzle. Have fun figuring that out, and I hope I was some level of help.